Yeah.
I like how her shoelaces match their jacket.
Hmm.
It's like, how do you do that?
Nose, 9. Yep. Nine. Clean. Yep. Hard. 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 Roll shooter. Okay. Oh, sorry. Nine, 5. That's great.
Big roll. Hard roll. It's like a piece of just so you know.
Okay, hack. Okay, 15 to tee here probably. Hack.
Hack down.
Clean. Hack.
Oh. Hack down.
Heavy hack.
Oh.
Heavy hack.
Clean.
Board.
Hack. Chloe.
Heavy hack.
Chloe. Hard, Chloe. Hard, you're moving it. Yep. Hard roll. Oh, no roll.
Good. That died. 11-9.
Yeah.
And it barely got out of the rings. Yeah. She slid down center.
Did she? Whoa.
I was like,
It curled so much.
it's okay.
Nose. 10.
Nine.
Yep.
9-5.
Hard. Hard piece. Hard piece.
Okay. Okay.
It's good. 10-2. 10. 10.
Close, yep, straight.
Straight.
Whoa. Curl.
Watch it.
No roll.
Whoa.
No.
Sit. Good.
Okay. 10-5, good.
Okay. Nice pair.
Nice throw. Consider second.
Sorry, I can't find another one.
It's almost nose. I think I like 10. We should be able to hold it if we need.
I don't know if we need the double or not. Probably wouldn't hurt. I mean, why not, I guess.
Nose is pretty close to getting it.
Yeah. Just run the double.
Yeah, we're pretty close to nose for the double. 10.
You got it right to her.
Hey, Yuki, trust it. It's good. 10.
2. Close.
Yeah, touchdown.
No.
Close. Curl. 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 Get out.
Good. Sorry. I wasn't sure what yep was. I was down. Yeah, okay. Good.
Glad that curled up.
I was like, oh.
Okay, that makes sense. I might have clicked like a 10 and then it came down, I think. Just fresh out there. Wait.
Like I wouldn't say
we just
more
have
than
to
10-3.
dodge that, right? So, 10.
Sorry?
Same weight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hair less.
Ten. Yep. Hard. Whoa. Whoa. No. Off. Okay.
Hey, we saw this on yours. Excuse me.
Same weight. I think if I kick the same, it'll be a 10 in this spot.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
came down a little way out there in the edge.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I liked your weight on the last one.
You got it.
You got it. Trust it. Weight's good. 10-5.
No, 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 no.
10-5. Yep. Clean, clean. Yep.
Clean.
Clean. Okay.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Play Curling Alberta's 50-50. Support grassroots curling and win big with daily draws and the Briar Final Mega Jackpot, now over $100,000 and growing. Please play responsibly.
So you're a pizza person, but you're married to a wing person, and your kids are salad people? You can't pick your fam, but with over 50 menu items to choose from, you can make them all happy. Order today and enjoy Boston Pizza at home.
Hello curling fans and welcome to draw number 6 here at the 2025 Curling Alberta Women's Championship presented by Sentinel Storage. My name is Red. Joining me today is Daryl from the Peter Lougheed Community Center in Rimbey. How are you?
Good morning, Red. I'm great. How are you?
Good. Ready to watch some great curling action on this early draw, and like we talked about, it's a little bit of an interesting one. I think one of these teams goes home.
The loser of this game is unfortunately done for the week.
Mine's good.
So it's a big game for both teams.
2-2. No deeper.
Team Plett came off a bit of a struggle last night, but is looking to rebound today, I'm sure.
Yeah, I didn't catch much of that game, but I seen they were doing well, and after a few steals, they ended up coming out with a loss. But I know they probably have that out of their mind, and it's a new game today.
New day, new game.
Yeah.
The first end, we saw Nicky Kaufman take 2. It wasn't a sloppy end by any means and relatively clean, but her rocks were positioned nicely and she was able to get her deuce.
Yeah, really well played, and 2 is a great way to start off this morning draw.
Let it work. Mine's good. Yeah. Prefer not to be in.
On this draw, Rhett, there's an empty sheet beside them. How much does that come into play when they're looking at reading ice and whatnot?
So it's actually a big thing these teams are going to have to watch out for, as either side of the sheet is going to have different, what we use as hog-to-hog times, so basically different speeds. So you might see the side that's closest to the vacant sheet there might not stay as keen for as long, or might have a little more grab to it. So both teams are going to have to keep an eye on it, and you're going to hear them talking about it throughout the game.
Whoa. Okay, yep. Straight, roll this way, yep. Yep. All the way over. Go. Okay.
Were they maybe looking to get to the outside of that rock?
Yeah. Did you get a time?
Or the other side and roll underneath the red, or
10-5.
was the intended plan there to roll?
Yeah, I think they might have wanted to get a little bit of a roll that way, but
10-6.
watching it down the ice, they might have brought up a little bit of a plan B. Same as this one, it tends to be hanging out there just a little bit. And it's not going to want to stick in the rings, but got the red out.
Just early in the game, figuring out line, maybe just a little bit?
Just top 8.
Yeah, just a little bit. The sheet's still wearing in, so you see teams tend to throw a little bit more weight because they're not exactly sure what it's going to do. They have a pretty good idea from playing throughout the week so far, but the thing about curling is every sheet is different whenever you play on it.
Mine's good. 3-2.
Not any 2 sheets are the exact same, so
2. Just
there's
2
still a little learning to be involved.
Team Kaufman did play on this sheet yesterday afternoon, so they might have a pretty good idea of what to expect, but morning draw is probably certainly different from the afternoon draw.
Yeah, teams tend to find that morning draw is that little bit straighter As ice tends to warm up, it usually gets a little more curl to it, but as it's been sitting throughout the night, it tends to get a little colder, so there might be a little less curl this morning, but still a good amount from what I've saw.
The typical morning draw chill, right?
Yes, always a little chillier these morning draws. You tend to keep the sweater on just a little bit longer.
No. No, just leave it open.
Okay.
4-7.
Okay.
Well, I have the chance here. I'd like to thank our second-end sponsor, Bel Air Direct. Bel Air Direct offers Curling Alberta curlers and their families with exclusive discounts on insurance. Eligible members may receive a group discount on their car, home, and condo and tenants insurance. On top of any other discounts, savings, and benefits, customers are already eligible for Bel Air Direct.
Always good to have those partners along with an event like this.
Yeah, they are a huge part of an event because unfortunately we can't run these events for free. So by the help with these sponsors lets us have amazing events like this with great ice and great people.
I'm lucky enough to be working on as part of the host committee, and myself and my co-director Brent Oki are in charge of the 190 volunteers that we have for this event, and the turnout that we have is absolutely overwhelming as far as the volunteers go. Like you said, these events can't go without the sponsorship, but we also can't go without the volunteer help.
Yeah, it's crazy the amount of work that goes into an event like this, and so many generous people out there, whether it be sponsors or volunteers, giving up their time. And for anyone that's listening, if you really like curling and you want a front row seat, I think a volunteer position is probably the best way to get it. Not only do you get to watch this amazing event, but you get to help it out too in a way.
Was Team Kaufman maybe looking to corner freeze onto that red and came a little deep?
You can't roll.
Yeah, it might have came a little bit heavy there. A corner freeze would have been ideal, but it's still a rock that Team Plett is going to have to worry about here.
Just 10.
It's just not in an ideal situation for the
If you're ever
Kaufman
wide,
team.
that's
as
fine.
Looks like Plett's going to make a little bit of a play on here and might try to get a hair of a roll up to almost corner freeze their own red.
Hair more? Yep. Solid 10. Hard. Clean. Yep. Hard. Hard. You gotta go. Okay. Shoot.
Like you said, they did corner freeze their rock with the hit and roll.
Okay.
Yeah, I talked about it being a little straighter on the morning draw, but no lack of curl there. So another big shout out goes to the ice makers here this weekend. I've seen an amazing playing surface throughout the week.
Oh my god, yeah. I know, it's crazy.
So, do you think they can get to know Nicky?
You know, they might not be able to get with nose here, but they're going to get enough that they're going to make these reds move. So I believe they're going to try and get one out for sure. And as long as you can move that top red there on those two frozen reds, you should be able to pump it to a good spot to have access to it at a later time.
It does look like that red is locked onto the other one.
9-8. Hard, right over.
Curl.
Go. Okay.
Probably would have liked to have kept their shooter around.
Yeah, it would have been ideal too, but you know what? You got contact there and you moved that top red to the back 8 there. It's going to give Myla a free chance to put a good one in here, but it's a decent shot from Kaufman.
Try to get 6 if you can. 5 is fine though. Okay.
Put that red behind the tee line in the back 8.
Yeah, they're gonna try and sneak one.
It's quick. Yeah.
Gonna sneak one here under those two corners you see.
If you're positive, it
try
should
to
run
keep
nice,
a
I
multiple
think.
score alive, and you never know, you might get a miss out of Team Kaufman and bring 3 into play, but you're just trying to give yourself the best chance here to score 2, if not more. A crooked number, as us curlers say.
4, 5. 5, 5. 4. Line's good.
Did we talk about 4 and 5? Those are different zones.
4,
in
5, 5.
in the ice.
5.
Yeah, so a lot of curlers will break up from the hog line to the back line into 10 different zones, and
Just leave it.
everyone's spacing of those zones are a little different, but 4 or 5 is usually about the kind of top 8 there. But it looks like it comes to what we would call as a 7, which is just above that T line.
Okay.
Yeah. I think yours was just a bit soft, so it just died. Or maybe you got a tighter path.
Nose is fine. I don't think we can bury and be shot.
Looks like it ended up in a good spot.
Okay.
Yeah, really good spot. They're not able to get to it, so they're just going to
here.
hit the back one. If it was later in the game and they knew the ice a little better, you might see them try to come down and freeze to that red just thrown and prevent the multiple score. But it's early game, and they just want to be safe. A 2 here isn't the end of the world. You end up tied with Hammer.
Curl. Hard for nose. Okay. Okay.
Would have liked to stick on the nose there to make sure that Team Plett had to hit and make a shot, but with the roll, it's going to mean that they're going to get a free draw to the 8-foot for their 2.
Okay, less. 4, 5. 5, 6, 7. 7, 8.
Weight looks good on this drop by Myla.
Yeah, you hear that 7-8, so that's in the 4-foot there, and a really nice draw for their 2.
Original 16, a great way to celebrate things done well.
Alrighty, and we're back here with some third end action at the 2025 Curling Alberta Women's Championships presented by Sentinel Storage. After 2 in the second end there, we're back to a tied game.
Clean.
Team Plett brought their first rock into the rings, and it's just been exchanging hits since.
Yeah, Team Plett's, after scoring a big 2 there, they're not wanting to get into too much trouble here, so they're probably just going to go for a blank here and try to go hard for the score in the fourth, because you hear a lot of curlers talk about having that, scoring those points in those even ends, because in the long run it kind of means that you have maybe one more hammer chance than the other team would.
Exchanging hits sure helps with the time management part of it as well.
Yes, it's kind of a comfortable feeling knowing that you're not wasting too much time and you have it for later in the end.
Clean. Yep. Well, clean.
A bit of a change this year as they've moved from having 2 timeouts to just 1 timeout in the first 10 ends. I'd imagine that comes into play a little bit and changes things a little bit as well.
Yeah, it comes into play. You know, these teams are so good nowadays that a lot of times they know what shot they're going to play, but when it comes down to those later ends and there's a lot of thinking involved, that timeout kind of comes as a little bit of a cushion. You know, you have time to talk about something and you're not wasting what's left on your time clock, but with only one this year, they have to be very wise with where they use it.
Able to stick around.
Okay.
So you hear the players talk about 9, 10, 5, 15.
9, 5. Clean. Yep. Hair down. 10.
Speed of the rock coming
9,
down
5,
the ice.
10. Clean. Yep.
Yeah, so a lot of these curlers you'll see kind of on their hip or in their hand, they'll have a stopwatch, and what they'll do is they'll time when the rock first covers the close hog line and then stop the time when it covers the second hog line, and it kind of gives us a little bit of an indicator of our feel. So we know the ice is running at, say, a 15-5 for a draw, and we can kind of take that feel into a situation, or if, say, we feel like we threw really good draw weight, but it comes up as a 14-5, we know that ice is speeding up because that's a quicker time. So it just kind of brings a little more accuracy to throwing rocks and making shots.
So 15-5, you would say on arena ice would be a very typical draw to the tee line?
Yeah, anywhere from that 14-5 to 15-5 mark I found when playing on arena ice, but I've seen arena ice get up to 16, so you're barely kicking out of the hack.
9, 5, 9.
Good view of the crowd there. I can see there's a couple juniors, which gives me a good segue into our third end sponsor here, the Chmpnshp Academic and Scholarship Foundation. Attention to all the young curlers. Curling Alberta's partner, the Chmpnshp Academic and Scholarship Foundation, has 3 scholarships up for grabs. The Chmpnshp Academic and Curling Scholarship has been available to young curlers since 1999. The fund was put in place to honor Chmpnshp, a curling legend, and his many accomplishments in curling to his community, his country, and throughout the curling world. The foundation provides young curlers with financial support to further expand and refine their curling abilities and accomplishments. Applications are being accepted on Curling Alberta's website until May 31st. Chmpnshp Academics and Scholarship Foundations, thank you. We thank you for supporting young curlers in Alberta.
Nice.
Still looking like we're on our way to a
Clean.
blank end.
Whoa.
Both teams keeping it clean.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Whoa.
no, not one team's wanting to mix it up this end, which, like you said, banks a little bit of time. Kind of calms those nerves. You might think that we're a little bit into the week, so teams might not have the big nerves that they had before, but you know what? Like we talked about, this is an important game. The winner of this game moves on, and the one who comes out on the bottom is going to go home. So it's a lot riding on this game here.
What I would do for a Coke Slurpee right now. And it's only 9 a.m. Okay.
You can, like you said, we're partway through here already, and
in like Gasoline Alley.
And you can hear some of the players talking.
I love Gasoline Alley.
Yeah, that is the like perfect part about having these players mic'd up, is you get a little bit of insight into what they're talking about on the ice. And you know what? Some teams are super serious, or some are what you see like this Plett team, where they're here, they're having fun, and they're enjoying themselves.
Hey, Les.
That was Ali Iskew, who was really wanting the Coke Slurpee.
Nine. Okay, good.
Really nice toss there by Myla Plett.
Ow. Yeah. Oh, what the heck? All of them are. Except for one. Bruh. The umps are like panicking.
We were talking about the different zones in the ice earlier off there. You mentioned that the person that may have started that whole thing is actually here at the rink.
Yeah, so I believe it was the Furby 4, specifically David Neto, and I could be wrong. I'll have to ask Heather next time I'm down in Sherwood Park, but I believe that team and him specifically were the one who came up with that zone system, which we see used quite a bit today by teams like Kevin Cooey, the Gushu rink, and a lot of the juniors you can see here.
One of those being his daughter Alyssa, playing with Myla Plett.
We talked about it in the last draw that we commentated together. There's quite the star-studded field here. Lots of big names. We have an Iskew, a Nedowin, a Cooey. So no lack of talent in these young teams.
It's so nice to see that second generation coming up and taking on the sport and excelling at it.
What is 10? Yeah.
Curling Alberta is in good shape with these young curlers.
Yeah, it's a little scary. I don't know if I'd want to be in the women's division right now, because all these big names, it's a little intimidating.
10. 10. 10. Solid 10. Okay.
Bit of a rollout and allowing Nicky to maybe have a free look at something.
Yeah, you would have liked to make Nicky, as we say, work for her blank here, but this is going to give her a free opportunity to throw one through and find a spot. And it's also a really good learning opportunity for any of those juniors that are watching. A lot of teams you'll see when they get this chance, they'll just blow one through the house as hard as they can. But
and the ribbon, they're like
if you
all
watch
over.
some of these higher level teams, they're going to throw that nice controlled weight and really get a look at a spot. So it looks like Nicky's going to throw just like a 9 here. And yeah, which is nice because you don't really get to see this line during a game. Not very often are you throwing an inside-out hit, and kind of go to school, as they say. So it's going to be a blank after end number 3 here, and we'll come back to you right after a few short commercials.
proudly pulling for this generation of Canadians and the next for over 40 years at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
So you're a pizza person, but you're married to a wing person, and your kids are salad people? You can't pick your fam, but with over 50 menu items to choose from, you can make them all happy. Order today and enjoy Boston Pizza at home.
Hello, curling fans, and welcome back to N4 action here at the 2025 Curling Alberta Women's Championship presented by Sentinel Storage. With the corner guards put up by Team Nicky Kaufman here, it looks like we're going to have a little bit more of an interesting end.
Yep, drag it. Hard. Well, good.
Definitely deciding to maybe try to put a number up on the board this time.
Yeah, and it's something we like to see as commentators. Lots more for us to talk about.
Absolutely.
Good sweep.
We've just had a whole bunch of students coming into the arena, so it'll be a little louder in here now for the players, but should be great for them.
Five. Close. Oh, weird. Needs to curl. 5, 6.
And, you know, we talked about all the stuff that goes into this event, and we talked about some of the big Curling Alberta sponsors, but I also want to give a shout out to the bronze sponsors, the local bronze sponsors, ATB Financial, Diamond Liquor, Rimbey Chmpnshp, MNP and LLP, Raise Esso, Sears, 3D Development, BDO, Busted Ladies, Rimbey View, and Boost Motors. Not to mention that 106 community level sponsors have also signed on to assist with this event. So a ton of help here for this provincials here in Rimbey.
The local sponsorship that we were able to get for this event
I think 15.
Was phenomenal. And we actually did it in a really short amount of time. We didn't really forge the agreement with Curling Alberta until June 7th. Most communities have a couple years to plan for it.
4, 5, running.
But the host committee here was able to do it in really 6 months, and it's been a heck of an event so far.
Hard. 3.
And just there, we see the camera pan across the crowd there. It looks like we have another set of classes here today for this draw.
We do.
She just needs to kick with more.
Yeah. You know what? I can't explain enough how excited I am to see all these young people interested in curling and coming out. I seen pictures of some days people had signs, and it's a packed crowd.
Not bad for a Friday morning draw.
Yeah. And to come at 9 a.m., well, that's a little bit of commitment there.
Especially if you're in the social house a little bit longer than you maybe wanted to be last night.
Yeah, that's, you know what, that's another great thing about this event is there's so much going on, and you know what, it's probably a good thing I'm not up in Rimbey because I'd spend a lot of time in that little social hub, but I believe, is it tonight or?
Tonight we've got the good, the band, and the ugly.
Yes,
and then tomorrow night,
is
the Dueling Pianos.
Wait, looks really good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was just looking at my sheet here, and it looks like
six.
a
Oh, there, I think.
packed event list. So.
This is 6.
We had last night we had an
Mine's
original
good. All
16
Yep, gotta be
cornhole
6.
tournament.
Gotta be 6.
And
All
we had
you.
12 teams
All
enter.
15-8.
One of those
15-8.
teams
Hard.
was
Hard, Alyssa.
Delia
Hard.
and
Hard,
Sinead
Alyssa. Gotta push
Dijon
it.
from Team Dijon. And if those two didn't end up winning the thing.
Not only are they big curling fans or big curlers, but they're really good cornhole players. Yeah,
they are, and I won't say that they were or weren't here right till the bitter end last night.
You know what? Maybe that all that feel while you're throwing stones comes into
anything with the guard?
Comes into the cornhole.
Yeah, at this level, they're all really good athletes, and that coordination, I think, is just there for them. So Team Plett has a rock sitting under that staggered guard.
Yeah, they just snuck one under there, so it's going to be hard for Nicky Kaufman to get at. The benefit is it is under 2 yellow stones, which are a little bit staggered, but I still think there's a way to get to that red stone if ever need be.
Yep. Yeah, straight.
Are they maybe looking to freeze to it here now?
Straight.
Or just a tap back?
Line's fine. Line's fine.
I'm thinking that they might be trying to just sneak under it here. They might have.
5-3.
Just kind of get shot stone. I didn't see the broom tap there, so I wasn't sure exactly the call, but that's a really good spot. It's
Throw hack up.
It's partially buried under one of those yellow guards, so it's going to be hard for Team Plett to get here.
Team Plett maybe looking to throw a little bit of a lighter weight takeout and roll.
Heavy hack.
Under the
board. Clean. Board.
Yeah, they said hack weight,
yep.
so with the movement we're getting here, they should be able to get to that yellow stone.
Whoa. Allie. It's good.
I do like what was said by Myla there. She said hack up. So what that lets Alyssa know is, if anything, you can be a little heavy. Of course,
not bad.
You want to make a shot perfect.
Probably
but
board.
You always got to look at that pro side miss, as we call it, and that little bit of tolerance by saying, yep, you can be a little bit up. There's always, it's a little comforting as a thrower.
Absolutely.
I don't think it goes on to it. I think it just goes in. Sorry, I can't
But
hear
red's
you.
still sitting buried.
I don't think it goes on to the red. No, but it might spin this way. Yeah, I don't hate it.
Probably accessible by that guard on the right side.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to try and rip these 2 yellow guards. They talked about how it might spin in, so we're going to have to keep an eye here. They're only throwing about a 9, so if one spins into the rings, they should be able to hold one in there.
Yeah.
Weight's good, a little down.
It's a great example of a lot of teams.
9-5.
You don't have to throw the high hard one all the time. You can use these nice controlled weights and do a lot with them.
Sometimes it's really nice to be able to give it to your sweepers and allow them to control it a little bit.
Yeah, not quite what they wanted there, and it kind of hurts them a little bit as there's no good angle onto the redstone. It is open enough that they would be able to get to it, but now Myla's going to put up a guard there and take away any chance of removing that redstone.
Closer to 15-5.
Tight.
1.
we talked about all these
Hard!
people that have helped out.
Hard,
And
you
if
gotta
you
get a
yourself
rope!
watching
Hard!
would like to give back a little bit to
Yep,
Curling
yep,
Alberta,
hard.
or say the
1, 2.
Rimbey Curling Club, you can go to
Hard, go, go, go. Hard, you gotta get a rub.
curlingalberta.ca/5050. The Rimbey host committee have done such an outstanding job leading up to the Women's Provincial Championships presented by Sentinel Storage. And the 50-50 this week will support the Rimbey Curling Club. Buy now for your chance to win and support a great club in grassroots curling. Tickets are on sale from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. January 22nd to 25th, and 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. January, specifically for January 25th. The only stipulation is you must be 18 and you must live in Alberta.
The local Rimbey Curling Club here started this year doing something actually what I think is really, really cool. And that's on Friday evenings we started having free drop-in curling. So if people are looking to take up the sport or give it a go but aren't quite ready to commit to being on a team, Friday evenings are the time to come out and throw a few rocks and have some camaraderie upstairs in the lounge.
And you know what? Curling's one of those sports that I suggest everyone should try at least once. The amount of friendships I've made from it and the different relationships I've made through it, I cannot stress enough how amazing the sport and the community is. Not to mention that it's an easy sport to get into. It's not like a hockey or a football where you're spending a ton on equipment. I've seen people that put a little bit of duct tape on the bottom of their shoe as a slider and go out and curl. So it's a really easy sport to get into and one that I love and would suggest to anyone who's listening.
You know what? As much as I love curling, and I really, really, really like it, I curl so I can go and hang out with a bunch of my friends and enjoy a good time with them.
Yeah, it's such a social game, and you know what?
Whether
you be at the highest levels or even in the clubs, I don't think you'd find any curlers out here today that aren't having fun.
Yep. No.
So that red is still sitting behind the red guard.
Yeah, a couple of unfortunate misses here, not
5,
getting what
6.
they would have liked. So
5, 6.
kind of gives
We have to
Myla
be
a
a
chance
6.
to put a
6.
good one in here and
6,
put a lot
7.
of pressure onto this Kaufman team.
6, 7. Line only.
Probably
7,
safe
8.
to say we're
8,
not
9.
on a road to Blanksville.
No. So this one isn't going to quite stop in time for where they would have liked, but you know what? It's still buried and almost Christmas street, as us curlers call it, showing little bits of each rock, but
14-8.
it's going to force Nicky Kaufman to make a really good draw here.
Would she try to freeze right to it, maybe, Rhett?
You could attempt to, but you probably want to make a really good draw here, because if you freeze to that back one, you're going to be behind T, and it kind of allows Myla to follow you down and force you to a 1. Whereas if you make a really good draw here, it's going to be hard for Myla to get at, and you might keep your chances for a deuce alive.
You might try to be top 4 kind of in behind, eh?
Yeah, top 4, you do know that your tolerance is heavy because you always can freeze, but the perfect shot, I think, would be top 4 or maybe even just on the T line.
Touchdown, yep.
5, 6.
It's kind of one of those situations where there's no good shot because you want separation, so Myla can't hit what she can see of the red stone up front, but you also want to make sure that you're not giving her that free draw.
Yeah, straight. 8.
Hey.
Really nice shot from Nicky to come to the back one. Even got a little bit of a bounce, so.
That was that tolerance you were talking about.
Yeah.
Ran nice in there.
So it's going to force Myla here to make a really nice draw and follow the path that Nicky just went down to force the Kaufman team to their 1. Now she should have some confidence in this as she just watched Nicky throw this. And
Just a hair less.
she should know the line and speed, but still to get through that port with all of this curl is going to have to really rely on your sweepers.
Definitely less.
This is Myla's last rock.
6.
Yes.
6. Allie.
7.
7. 7, 8.
7, 8.
8, 9.
It might be coming
Mine's
down
good.
to that rock.
Mine's good.
So it's going to come in there for short rock, but it is accessible
Okay.
for Nicky to play a little lightweight top.
Perhaps a hack weight or backline tap to have her deuce.
Sweep it.
Yeah, there's a lot of different weights you can play at this, but you know what? Nicky has just thrown that draw, so she's just probably going to throw that
Yeah.
same weight and let her sweepers bring it to a little bit of a bump.
The line ran nicely here.
Yeah.
Can you get that hair there?
She doesn't need to move it far, maybe a
Go,
foot.
Nicky. Trust it.
And it's one of the things that the stones are so lively here at the women's provincials that it doesn't take a lot for stones to move.
Yes!
A little tight on line out of the hand.
Yes! Hard! 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 Hard tap! Hard tap!
Go.
Great sweep to get it by, and that's going to be for her too.
Great sweep by the sweepers on that one.
So it's going to be Nicky Kaufman 4-2 over Team Plett as we go into fifth end action. We'll be right back with you after a few short commercials.
A little tighter that hair.
Original 16, a great way to celebrate things done well.
Round them up, move them in. No place for your saddle and cowboy boots after the Calgary Stampede? At Sentinel Storage, we are proud to provide you with storage solutions that safeguard your valuables. Whether you're moving, renovating, or simply require extra space, we offer convenient and secure storage that caters to all needs. Find the Sentinel storage you need close to home. For a free estimate, visit sentinel.ca.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
Hey, good throw, Krista. That just hung a bit.
Alrighty, we're back
That
with some
outturns
fifth
a little
end action
straighter.
here in Rimbey. And with a score of 2 by Nicky Kaufman, we're 4-2 over Team Plett.
Sorry?
On sheet A, we've got
Yeah,
Team Phillips and Team
15,
Shannon, and they are tied at 2 right now. And then on sheet D, we've got Team Booth and Team Martins. Team Martins up 5-2.
Maybe a bit light.
I don't mind it. 6.
You know, I forgot to mention at the start of the broadcast here that if you would like to see this action in person, you can buy tickets both online and at the door here at the Peter Lougheed Center. I believe they have full event passes, day passes, individual draws, and I think online you can purchase them at curlab2025.eventbrite.ca.
It was actually quite interesting. I was looking at what tickets were sold and whatnot, and there are some draws where there's 11 or 12 tickets left.
That's not very many when you look at it, so if you're looking to come down, you better buy your tickets now.
Okay. Sorry, Krista.
Really hard sweep here to get it as far as it'll go. Not going to quite get to the rings, but a little bounce off will keep that a usable stone.
We seeing the no tick rule coming into play here, Rhett?
Yeah, bumped it just off the center line, just enough that they're going to replace it there.
It's no great run.
It's a rule that you haven't seen come into play a lot this weekend, but it's one of those important rules. A lot of times you'll see these high-level teams, if they're coming around the center, take that little bit extra ice just to prevent a tick.
Yeah, 6.
Because it's a big deal to have one of your rocks taken off.
Yeah, like you said, that still usable rock is no longer usable.
Line's a little tight. Yeah, line.
It is absolutely incredible in here. There were some more students that have showed up now. The stands are filling up considerably.
Love to see it.
Okay, over and stop. 7-6.
Are they getting a little maybe confused by the ice at this point?
Yeah, it looks like they're having a little trouble with weight on both sides of the team, so they threw a lot on the other side the last end, so might be being caught here. We talked earlier about how there's a vacant sheet beside them, and on the edge sheet there's a game going on, so speeds are a little different on either side, and they're going to have to keep communicating.
Hard, Allie. Hard, 15-3. Hard, you got it. Whoa, Allie, just Allie. Yep. Hard.
Looking to get as much curl as they can in behind those guards.
Good.
Do you like that? Do you like this one, Krista's?
This one better?
Whichever one you see.
Yeah.
And you know what? We talk a lot about people in the area coming to watch, but you know what? One of our partners, Best Westerns Hotel and Resorts, I believe has a hotel up there. They are a proud accommodation partner of Curling Alberta, and Best Western Hotels and Resorts is an award-winning global network of hotels located over 100 countries and territories that offers accommodation for all types of travelers. And Curling Alberta's preferred accommodation partner has been a proud partner for curling for over 20 years. So if you're not from the area but would like to spend a weekend watching curling, I'm sure there's some reservations still open.
Really nice run back by Team Kaufman to break up their guards and put a rock under cover.
Yeah, amazing shot.
6, but we're down by 2. Yeah, I like this.
Do you like that, or do you want to just peel that top?
I don't know. 'Cause
Being down by 2, Rhett, what do you like
early.
here?
Yeah, it's only the halfway point
They're
of the
the
game
same.
here, but you would like to score your 2, but you also don't want to get into too much trouble. I like this call from Myla here.
Line's good.
5.
Room, line's good. Line's good.
5.
Room.
5, 6, 6.
6.
Wait, close.
6,
Allie,
7.
if anything.
7.
8.
Allie back. Yep. Hard Allie.
Okay.
Still showing a little bit.
Yeah, showing a little bit and a little bit behind T-line, so it's
Good sweep.
not ideal for the Plett team.
Nicky, now do you try to put a rock right on the tee line, right above that rock?
Yeah, she's probably going to want to put it right on the tee line above the rock or even freeze to it, because without hammer, you would love to force Team Plett to 1. Because then in the next end, you would be up 1 with hammer, which is a huge
6,
advantage.
7. Close. Yep.
A good freeze would take 2 shots to get rid of, I would imagine.
Straight.
Yeah, it's the
down.
one thing about a
5.
freeze is they're
Gotta go
tricky to
10.
play with, because like you said, it takes more than 1 shot, and
Hard. Roll it off.
if they're made really good, then
Maybe a
sometimes
little
they're
light.
5, 4. Okay.
little light, but it does chap off a little bit, so there's still some work that can be done with that stone. Myla's gonna have a look here and see what's the best course of action.
Okay.
She's looking to draw.
I
Or
believe
start that
so.
run back, maybe.
I thought I seen her tap to freeze that top yellow kind of in that pocket there, but
Tight 3.
I
Hard
did
line.
miss the
3,
final
4.
call.
Hard line. Wait, really
But they're going hard for line and lots of weight, so they
4.
might be going to draw around the whole
Hard
thing.
line. Forward to it. Hard. Just to it. Hard. Hard
Let's if
straight.
he freeze into the yellow.
It's really good.
Good.
Really
Great
good
judge,
position.
Bubba.
Yeah, great judge and really good position for Alyssa Edwin Stone there.
Really good weight.
Sorry, I'm at
But
9.
at this point, that takes away that run back onto the red for Nicky.
Yeah, it makes her good stones and kind of makes them a little bit useless.
Weight's good.
It's amazing how one rock can turn a really good stone into almost like a guard.
Come on.
Well, that's one of those shots that I don't think you can make if you tried, so it's really unfortunate to get through that hole there, but you know what? It does leave the shooter out in play, so there is still options.
Myla may be in a good position to try to put a crooked number back up.
Obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the yellow stones here for Nicky Kaufman are kind of protecting Myla's stones, so there's a lot of stones in place, so you never know what's going to happen, but could be a really good opportunity for, like you said, a crooked number.
Chloe.
5, 6.
Chloe. Hard, Chloe.
4.
Hard, Chloe, you got it. Hard, Chloe.
5, 6.
It's hanging out a little wider than we've seen, so really good
Hard, keep
scrub to
moving
get it in there.
Yep. Okay.
Good weight.
That's good.
Little wider and like you were saying earlier, right up against that blank sheet. So probably a little heavier on that side.
Yeah, a little heavier. So even more emphasis on the scrub there from Chloe Fediak and Ali Iskew.
Could have given you less ice. But... Yeah.
give the rest. Yours just follows a different.
Nicky gonna try maybe running back her yellow onto the two reds?
Yeah, she's gonna try and get rid of some of these reds here.
Sweep to get it there.
For the most part, she's trying to open up that in front of the house there, because
we were wide, but still.
Kind of with the guards in front there, it kind of leaves a little bit of trouble for Nicky.
To keep heavy broom.
Tried to open up that scoring area a little bit.
That's why we like overslept your second.
I'm sorry, yeah, no. It's Plett that's trying to open up that area and score, and she's in a good position right now.
I think she'll get one. Oh, psych. So she has a pretty easy double, or she can do this, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't have hurt the Kaufman team there to open it up as well. Like, it's not the end of the world. It does give Myla a good shot into the 4-foot, but it also opens up the options for Nicky to prevent a big score of the Plett team here.
Like tight enough for us.
A really good thing for the Kaufman team is they swept that shooter all the way over. So now even if Myla takes away the angles on this side, she still has a run or a tap or something on the other side of the sheet.
On this side, maybe her more. Yeah. Okay, like a 3.
If you're Myla here, you like a tight guard, maybe just in.
Yeah, you heard them talking about bringing it into the 8-foot. And what that does is not only does it take away that draw path, but it also counts as another shot stone. So a lot of pressure will be put onto the Kaufman team if this is made.
She has that yellow top as well, but I think the double right now is just kind of more of a easy bail for her since she's up 2.
And you hear Myla talking about if she wants to leave them the tap or the double. We'd love as curlers if we could block 2 shots at once, but you only get to throw 1 stone at a time. So she's going to pick the double, which she believes is more of a danger to her team.
4! 3, 4! 3! You. 3!
So you hear 3-4, so it should end up just before the house here, really grinding down as we get to the
that wider path.
Okay.
So not quite going to take away everything, but it does take away an easy double there for Nicky.
Yeah. I just kicked out.
It looks like there still could be that in-turn double.
Still tough. Her weight was perfect.
Yeah, this one's almost a little more dangerous for that Plett team, as it is going to take away 2 of their shot stones and leave Nicky buried under cover. So might be a turning point if the shot is made.
It was better to overcurl and leave her the double.
I know. Then we wait.
Okay.
The double in the back too.
Okay. Yeah.
Important to keep the shooter.
Yeah.
With the 9.
Okay. Nicky, trust it. Right to her.
Yes! Hard! Hard! Whoa!
Just going to sneak over the top.
Just a hair thick.
Yeah, a hair thick. It looked like it really came off that center line. So I don't know if she might have threw it a little soft, or maybe it's just the center line, as we've seen rocks jump off of it throughout the week, but I'm going to give Myla a good chance to sneak in here.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Hit and roll.
Myla's looking for a draw to the, biting the 4-foot for a 3.
Okay, yeah, just a hair less.
Yeah, she's just got to bite a piece here.
Forward, we can bump it a bit.
And you know what? It's a good example that sometimes your stones aren't always your friends. You've seen that stone that came up a little light there is preventing her from taking the easy path into the 4-foot. So she's going to have to come kind of inside out here and grab a piece.
Like a 15-3.
It's not an easy draw. It's flirting with a lot of rocks in play.
Yes, and not to mention, you got to get a good part of the 8-foot here, and by throwing it this way, the more it curls, the more rings you tend to run out of. So,
Gotta
move maybe the hair down.
yeah.
Room. Full eight.
5. Yep. Hard.
there we see the rock go, and this is where I talked about. The more it curls, the more it runs out of room. Alyssa's going up to help sweep. A little pressure of a broom head. You gotta do a big drag.
Gonna come up just light.
Not gonna quite get there, but I believe it's still a score of 2 for the Plett team here, which will leave us tied going to end number 6. Teams are gonna go and have their 5th end break, and we're gonna play a few commercials. But until then, we'll see you in end number 6.
Comes off. Round them up, move them in. No place for your saddle and cowboy boots after the Calgary Stampede? At Sentinel Storage, we are proud to provide you with storage solutions that safeguard your valuables. Whether you're moving, renovating, or simply require extra space, we offer convenient and secure storage that caters to all needs. Find the Sentinel storage you need close to home. For a free estimate, visit sentinel.ca.
Alrighty, and we're back. The teams are still into their 5th end break, and we get a nice look at you there in the booth, Daryl.
Oh yeah, but you were in the call for us.
Okay.
That was different.
I was like,
You were in a new path.
Sorry, you.
Well, welcome in some viewers. Sorry for the technical difficulty we had earlier. We had a few issues, but the morning or the first 5 ends were recorded and accessible later on for you. A little bit of a recap. We've had a blank end. We've had an exchange of deuces on the board.
Yeah, there's a lot of rocks in play here, so it's fun to commentate, and it's keeping it interesting.
We were mentioning earlier that this is a big game for both teams, with the loser of this game being done for the week.
Yeah, we're doing it for time.
Yeah, it brings a little bit more to this game, and we haven't seen it affect the teams too much. They still look calm and collected, which is very impressive.
That part amazes me. So much of the game is mental, and it's incredible how tuned in they can be.
Oh, is that right?
Round them up, move them in. No place for your saddle and cowboy boots after the Calgary Stampede? At Sentinel Storage, we are proud to provide you with storage solutions that safeguard your valuables. Whether you're moving, renovating, or simply require extra space, we offer convenient and secure storage that caters to all needs. Find the Sentinel storage you need close to home. For a free estimate, visit sentinel.ca.
Hello, curling fans, and welcome back to some 6th Ed action here at the 2025 Curling Alberta Women's Championship presented by Sentinel Storage. We apologize for a few technical difficulties, and we welcome the viewers that are just coming in here on the Curling Alberta YouTube page and Curling Zone. So far, we've had quite an interesting game, one blank, and lots of hard-hitting ends. So lots of good curling to be watched.
Both teams exchanging deuces in that first 5 ends.
Clean. Whoa, clean. Yep.
Both teams with lots to play for as well, with the loser going home for the week.
Clean. Whoa.
Yeah, and like we've said earlier, it's amazing to see how calm and collected these teams are with that. It's a big deal on the line there. You lose, you go home. You win, you keep going. So
Team Kaufman having hammer here with Team Plett sitting 2. Is it just a hit and stick around, or are you kind of playing for a very not as exciting end?
Yeah, you're gonna want to be. Your main goal is to make sure you hit it. A roll would be perfect. Kind of get those stones buds together and kind of allow for a blank if needed. It's the 6th end, and Kaufman's going to be happy to blank or even score 2, but you don't want to force it too hard and get yourself in a tricky situation.
We were talking earlier about how nice it is to have the hammer on the even ends. Is that still come into play a little later on as the game goes on, or is that more of an early thing?
It's a little more of an early thing, but it still benefits. It still benefits you throughout the game, as it allows you to potentially have the hammer in that last end, which is a massive advantage. But it also allows you to have maybe one more hammer than your opponent if you have it later in the end. So it's something that all the top teams kind of look out for, but isn't the end of the world if you don't get it.
Chloe just rolling out of the rings there with her hit.
Yeah, you would have liked to stuck around and force Nicky to play something on that stone. I think they elected for a corner guard here, as you have a chance for a deuce.
Let it work.
Just going to sneak into the rings here. Would have liked to keep that a little bit above.
We saw that early in this end as well, where rocks seem to be gliding a little better than what they were thinking they might be.
You know what? They do have a mop in between the 5th and 6th end during the break, and what that can do is it can kind of quicken up the speed by half a second. So teams are going to have to keep an eye on speed changes or different spots on the ice.
Hard to stick, hard piece.
Speaking of the ice, Matt, Yo, and Kyle have done a magnificent job with the ice here this week. I was able to hang out with them and help them out a little bit in putting it in, and it's the process and the work that goes into turning a hockey arena into a curling arena is unreal.
Yeah, it's a lot of hard work and takes a lot of people, but it's so worth it to see this amazing surface that these players are able to play on throughout the week. And by having that great surface, it allows them to make a ton of great shots.
Easy. Close. Whoa. Whoa. I think we're nosing. 10. It's a good throw.
Looks like we're going to exchange some hits for a little while here now.
Yeah, a little bit of a clean end here, and it's going to allow me to thank another one of our sponsors, Original 16. It is the official beer of Curling Alberta
10.
and the Ice Lounge here in Rimbey. As one of Canada's most successful regional brewers and internationally recognized producer of world-class beer, Original 16 pays a premium to make sure their beer is made with the best ingredients, and they have a brewmaster with dedication to education, experience, creativity, and craftsmanship. Curling Alberta would like to thank Original 16 for their continued support for those of you coming to the championship. Original 16 will be available at the Ice Lounge. So another reason to come and watch in person here in Rimbey.
Absolutely.
We're close.
We've got an on-ice Original 16 lounge, and there are some elevated tables, some standing tables right behind the sheets of ice with some fantastic curling viewing.
Stop. Yeah, we're 8, 9. 9.
Yeah, you can see the lounge there, and even behind the scoreboards here, it looks like the fans can get right up and personal with these different athletes.
4, 6. Okay.
I think it's a joy for the fans to be that close, but I also think the players are really embracing it as well and enjoying that interaction too.
Well, even we seen earlier in the stands there with all those school groups to be right up against the glass and to see what's going on firsthand. It'd be a great watching experience.
There are some kids that are actually standing at the glass, making sure they can see exactly what's going on. So it's pretty cool.
Mine's good. 6, 7. All you. 15-6. Should be close. Good. Good. 14.
And you know what? The other cool.
No, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
The other cool thing is we have 4 junior teams here this weekend, so some of these curlers might not be much older than those kids you see in the stand. There's another look at them as we pan through the stands. Great to see all these young people watching curling.
It's all perspective. It was interesting listening to some of the players talking earlier, and Alieski made the comment that it was 9 o'clock and what she would give for a Coke Slurpee. She wasn't looking for a drink of any other kind, but that Coke Slurpee was going to be very important to her this morning.
Yeah, and even moving on to Gasoline Alley there in Red Deer, I'll have to ask Chloe if their team stops by that. I believe they have a big candy shop there in Gasoline Alley, which
they sure do. So Myla just looking for the hit and stick here, Rhett?
10.
Yeah, just gonna hit and stick and
10.
Try to make Nicky hit one back, and you might like to get a little bit of a roll and put it into a different path, but taking out the stone is #1 priority here.
That's good. That's sweet.
You know, I brought up some of Curling Alberta's sponsors, but we should also talk about some more of the local sponsors like E360s, Fortis Alberta, GLDC, Evergreen Co-op, the Town of Ponoka, Kiera, and Service Credit Union.
Oh my God!
Without all of these sponsors' support, this event would not be possible.
4.
The support that we've had for this event from the local community and businesses has been phenomenal, to say the least.
It's good. 10-5.
Makes you really proud to be from here and be able to do this for the community.
Close. Yes.
Yeah, it's so great to see all these generous companies and different people support curling. You can see our sponsors here at Curling Alberta, or even if you look onto the jackets of the many curlers, all these different companies trying to support these athletes. It's great to see.
I don't know if it's stick actually.
When we were putting in the ice, I think we counted 22 logos on the ice, which says a lot right there.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, even earlier when I talked about our bronze sponsors, it said that there are even some companies that might not have sponsored a bunch and had a community level sponsors, but are there to assist with the event. So even that is great to see.
Absolutely. We've got some companies that have been donating lunches and whatnot for our volunteers. So just even things like that will touch a long ways.
Well, actually, same weight. Clean. 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 Okay.
Just going to bonk it right on the nose, and it's going to force Nicky for a hit and roll to blank at the end.
I just don't want to give up the steal, so if anything, I'll be tight.
This is a path that Nicky's been down before, so she should feel pretty confident throwing the stone.
Nine. Yeah. Pricing it tight to be safe, so you might have to sweep. That's what we're here for.
Looks like it's a little chilly in the arena. Both David and Blair have their toques on, coats done up, and
they've been like that all week. I don't think it's quite as bad as it was yesterday morning. Yesterday morning, there wasn't any of the girls that had taken their jackets off, so I think it's a little warmer this morning, but it's a lot cooler when you're just sitting there too.
Hard on the roll.
gotta get a big roll to secure the blank.
It's gonna stick around. So that's a force.
Good throw.
Team Plett forcing Nicky to take the one.
Alrighty, with the force, it's going to be Kaufman 5-4 over Plett as we go into some 7th end action right after a few short commercials.
You're kind of torn too, or like.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardlines Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline, join the revolution.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
Play Curling Alberta's 50-50. Support grassroots curling and win big with daily draws and the Brier Final Mega Jackpot, now over $100,000 and growing. Please play responsibly.
So you're a pizza person, but you're married to a wing person, and your kids are salad people? You can't pick your fam, but with over 50 menu items to choose from, you can make them all happy. Order today and enjoy Boston pizza at home.
Hello, curling fans, and welcome back to some 7th end action here at the 2025 Curling Alberta Women's Championship presented by Sentinel Storage. After a 6 end, that's the first force we've seen
That
throughout
is
the
just
game.
a slight miss by Nicky. Just about had the rollout, but it did hang on to fight the first 12
All
foot.
you room.
Yeah,
Oh,
during the break,
room.
we were able to hear a really good comment, and they
It's
said it was
running.
better to do that than flash it, which
Alyssa!
I love the
Running.
positivity.
14-1. No, just no, just.
Also, a great point that Team Kaufman has brought up. Krista Helker during the break had mentioned that she believes one of her stones was a little straighter than the other one, so that's something the team's going to have to watch out a little bit.
11-5.
Is that something that they would communicate to Nicky then, Rhett?
Yeah, that's going to be something that they're going to talk about as a whole team, because not only is it going to change the line, but it's going to change the speed of that stone. So the sweepers need to know, the thrower needs to know, and the skip needs to know.
Hard, you got it! You got it!
Stay on it, stay on it, stay on it. No roll.
Sit.
It's going to over-roll there by the Kaufman team, but still in a good spot.
So if you're Team Plett, do you take that rock out, or do you ever just maybe freeze down to it?
Well, you know what? You're only down one, and there's not a lot of pressure here. Not to mention it's in a really good spot in the forefoot. So you're going to try and hit this one and roll away, and maybe you'll get a deuce or create a deuce, but you do want to make a play on this stone.
Yep. Hard.
A freeze wouldn't be bad. It's just that with how close the game is, you don't want something that precise.
It's good.
A little bit skinny, but it's going to stick around in the rings.
Force Nicky to deal with it.
Yeah.
Maybe looking to hit and roll closer to center again.
Yeah, you might see a little bit of a roll, but even a nose hit is good here. You could, if you back-to-back noses, will bring it up in the rings. It might give you a better roll later on, but contact is key here.
Curl. 10-5.
I do want to take this time to shout out our 7th end sponsor, Boston Pizza. For more than 50 years, Boston Pizza has a proud history of participating and giving back to the communities in which we live and operate our restaurants. The Boston Pizza restaurants of Northern Alberta understand the value of being involved in the community, and Boston Pizza is honored to be involved and support the community where it needs it most. They know the strength that is acquired from the community to host events such as the Boston Pizza Cup or the Women's Championship here in Rimbey. On behalf of Curling Alberta, we'd like to thank Boston Pizza franchises for being such a supportive partner in Curling Alberta and for being eager to find new ways to grow the game with us.
Sorry?
50 years, that still blows me away.
50 years of Boston Pizza is absolutely incredible. And that's not even just Boston Pizza. That's Boston Pizza being involved in curling, which is absolutely amazing.
But yeah, 5-2.
You know what, I think I said the last time we were commentating together that I believe that's older than most of the field here at the Women's Championship.
That's probably the age of most of their parents.
Yeah, with all those junior teams, you could probably add up the ages and still not make 50.
Yeah.
So it's great to see all the young talent.
We're back.
Team Plett went a little deep on their draw attempt. And it looks like Team Kaufman's a little deep as well.
Yeah, once again, getting a little bit tricked by the speeds of the sheets here. We've seen that in the last end there.
They're on the fresh pebble again after that 5th end break, so maybe just a little of a bit of an adjustment time once again.
You know, I'm just looking over on Curling Zone and all of the comments, and lots of people are saying how many curling streams are going on this weekend. So I'd like to give a big shout out to Curling Stadium for helping us broadcast this event. And You know, having
Ready?
too much curling to watch
Just
is
7,
never a
8.
bad problem to have.
Yep. Hard.
Is there such a thing?
Hard.
You know, I would say no, but you know, my
Okay.
family looks at me and they would say otherwise.
Just sitting back for Team Plett. And Nicky maybe coming to draw down to the tee line.
14-7.
Yeah, with that rock being
You would have been back 4.
pretty much buried there, you might see Nicky change course here and go to a little bit of a force opportunity.
6. Room. Whoa. Gonna go. Gotta curl. Follow it.
Team Kaufman is sitting
Not 5. 4.
with 2 rocks in play, just biting.
Hard, get a piece underneath. Hard.
Really good scrub by the Kaufman front end here. We see rocks that are hanging out that little bit wider earlier. Just sweeping out of the hand and bringing it into a different path. So still a good spot for the Kaufman stone though, as it has an angle onto the red stone.
For them to center, hey?
Looks like it might be a little bit of a challenge
You
to
think
try to
that's
get to
hard?
the inside of that yellow to push it back through the rings. So do you try to draw in maybe here, Rhett?
Yeah, a draw would be okay,
Yeah,
but
like, this
again,
is
that
pretty
yellow
exact,
stone
like,
is
you have to be
such
dead
in a
nose.
good spot that they should always
But
have
if
a
you
play
draw,
on
if
it.
you're over here, they just play this, and I
you might
have like
see
no
a little.
shot.
You might see a little hit and roll off of that yellow. It's
So
a
if you
tricky
come,
shot,
I
but
don't mind being half open then.
it does
Just so I
it
have
does a
something to
lot for the
use
team.
later.
Um,
Yeah, sure.
The other thing with the draw is, like Myla said, it kind of gives Nicky that chance at the run, which is going to make it hard for her
You
to
have to be
score
half at
a
least,
couple with her
so that they
hammer here.
can't
But
double. Okay, like top 8.
they've
It sounds
elected.
like she's almost assuming that
5.
Nicky will play that run back onto the
Yeah.
red, so she wants to put her rock in a place where she can advance it on her next shot.
Yeah, the caliber of teams is so good here at our women's provincials that
6.
these girls
5,
don't want to leave anything
5.
for the opposing team.
Whoa. 7, 8,
Lots of times
9.
you'll see that these teams will play each other on
10, 9, 10.
on the curling tour throughout
You're not on
the year.
it's dying a lot. 8.
They know, and they've probably learned the hard way. All the teams have probably learned the
7,
hard
8.
way that if you leave someone
back.
something, more than likely they're going to make it.
Hard back. Hard back. Okay.
Maybe a little deeper than she would have liked.
Yeah, a little bit of an unideal situation. So you're going to see Nicky draw in here and really put pressure on the Plett team. With those 2 redstones in the back 4, back 8, it's going to be hard for Myla and Team Plett to remove these yellow stones.
I think so.
Depending on where that rock ends up, would
We thought, yeah.
Myla ever use that yellow rock that we were talking about in the top 8?
Yeah, depending where this ends up, she might have a shot with that rock, but it all depends on placement. Wherever this rock is placed, there's a few different options for Nicky and her team.
8. Whoa.
We talked about Boston Pizza Cup being one of our big sponsors, but I also want to thank some more of our local sponsors: Fire and Flood, Missing Link Internet, Baytex Energy, CBI Solar, Rimbey Curling Club, and New Country 95.5 and Zed 98.9. Thank you for your support of the Women's Championship.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, that works. Good throw.
Yeah, sorry, a little big on you.
So Team Kaufman sitting first shot for sure. And it looks like they're pretty close for maybe sitting third.
Yeah, it's a close one. And the nice thing about the stone just thrown is it's going to allow for them to use that red stone as backing. So it's not an easy takeout.
That's a 14. Back line.
You know what? We'd love to shout out our friends at Curling Stadium for bringing this broadcast, and I just seen another comment here on Curling Zone that we have some viewers from the U.S. So not only do we have some Canadian fans interested, but we have people watching from around North America. So
Just a 6.
another great opportunity that Curling Stadium and
Just a
Curling
6.
Zone give us.
Room.
It was really fun to see, and I was not aware of this until yesterday, that all 4 sheets are accessible on YouTube, which is fantastic.
Just a 6.
Great draw.
Amazing draw. Now you're probably going to see Nicky cap this and force Myla to try and force Myla to that 1 point, but
yeah,
it's a shot that has to be made, and if it's not made properly, there could be a shot for the Plett team to put up a crooked score.
Good.
As a curling fan, this is when it gets exciting.
Just a hair more ice?
Yeah. Five. We'll
Looking for a little bit of a tap on that.
There's a big wave from our guys up in the booth.
If we freeze on top, it's pretty hard for her to get to.
Yeah.
So, no tapping though. Just a freeze. Tolerance is short.
Didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, you're good. All good.
Hey, Nikki, trust it.
Looking to maybe tap that red back 4 or 5 feet.
Yeah, a tap wouldn't be a bad option, but they're just making sure they're getting in there so they can force that Plett team to take their one. A tap would be great to get shot out of it, but you want to make sure you're in a good position.
Sounds like they're going to be top 8, top 12.
Just going to go hard and try and get right to the stone. Really good scrub and a great spot for the force. It's going to force the Plett team to grab a good chunk of the forefoot for shot.
Looks like she's looking at her out turn. Is there any reason they would maybe not look at the in turn after they've been down that path?
I think they're going to take this path because it's very hard to watch or to grab enough of that forefoot on to that in turn path. So they're going to take this way and try to get as much as the forefoot as they can.
I think around the same weight.
And even more on the comments over on Curling Zone. Not only do we have people from North America, we have someone all the way from England cheering on for Team Plett. So reaching across the world here.
Five, six, you're going to have to scrub it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go hard, but also gonna watch because as we've seen with the scrub keeping it out wider, it might slow down the hair. We see Alyssa coming in, trying to use her little fresher of a broom head. Get as much distance as we can.
Hard, push.
Not sure if that's gonna be there for 2.
That is close. Too close for me to call. I think it's for 1.
Yeah, 1 for sure, but we're gonna have to look at the 2.
They might decide to measure this. Looks like yellow to me if I was a betting man.
Yeah, good sweep.
Yeah, I kind of want to say yellow myself, but the way the cameras are above the rings, it's very hard to tell.
I think it's a bit slower on that side.
But either way, what a scrub from Team Plett.
I thought you were hair down. Like I called a 4
That,
hand.
they were calling a 4, meaning that it would have been a top 8 maybe.
Yeah.
Top 12.
Oh,
yeah, around that area.
A long ways.
That's also my bad.
You know what? If this is here for 2, it might be a big contender for our moment of the game, presented by Sentinel Storage.
But
Oh, looks like it's just going to be for the 1.
For the 1.
Still a great scrub from the front end of Team Plett, and it's going to leave us tied 5-5 going into end number 8. We'll be right back after a few commercials.
All right, what was it? 2? Oh.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium. Play Curling Alberta's 50-50. Support grassroots curling and win big with daily draws and the Briar Final Mega Jackpot, now over $100,000 and growing. Please play responsibly.
Original 16, a great way to celebrate things done well.
Hello, curling fans, and welcome back to end number 8 action here at the 2025 Women's Provincials, presented by Sentinel Storage, and an exciting last end.
There was a great sweep by Team Plett to just about get their deuce, but came up just out by a measure.
Yeah, didn't quite get there, but what a scrub from the front end of Plett there.
Right to her.
Team Plett sitting with a guard just out of the rings and another one in behind in the top 12.
11-5.
And Nicky Kaufman with a walk in the back 12.
Push. Hard, 2 points of down. Hard. Good scrub. Okay. Just sliding tight on those. Okay. 11. Okay, wait, it was good.
You know, we can say on Myla's last draw there that might have had just a little bit of a sandbag on it. Didn't quite have the way to go. And you know what? It leaves me a cheeky segue into this end sponsor. This season, Curling Alberta is pleased to welcome Sandbagger Hard Seltzer as their official seltzer. Inspired by those who will do what it takes to get an edge on the competition, Sandbagger is a refreshing seltzer crafted with natural ingredients and gin. Stop by the Ice Lounge here in Rimbey and pick which flavors you will add to your post-curling game ritual. Their grassroots history, combined with a strong commitment to family and their craft, makes Sandbagger Hard Seltzer a valued addition to our Curling Alberta community.
For a minute there, I thought maybe I was commentating with Chmpnshp.
Well, you know what? I thought about the segue, and I'm like, that's too dumb to say. And then I'm like, well, we're just going to go for it.
Oh, that's pretty funny of you.
You know, if we're going to stick with the puns, it's quite the sweep to get it to work.
Yep. Hard!
Just going to miss the double, but a really good roll to keep it into the rings, I think.
I think it's just out, Rhett.
Oh, a little bit of karma for that bad pun.
Yeah, that's right.
It's probably weird.
You know, it's one of those.
From where I'm sitting, I can see just a little bit of white between.
Oh. You know, it's one of those things. We have this great opportunity to commentate and have pretty much a front row seat to this great curling action. Again, I'd advise anyone that's in the area to go down and watch. The tickets are available at the door online at curlab2025.eventbrite.ca.
Hold it. Hard.
I'm going to
Tight,
pump a few tires here and say that Rimbey is the second smallest community to ever host this event. So to be able to get for 190 volunteers, but yet over 80 sponsors as well is crazy.
Yeah, that really says something for the town and area of Rimbey for being that small and having this much support and sponsors and volunteers. Not to mention you see school groups coming in to watch and lots of this is an amazing event for these athletes.
This is the Alberta Women's Championships, but for the community like this, it may as well be the Olympics.
Yeah, it's not very often you get to see these high-level athletes compete right in front of you. So it's an opportunity like no other for the athletes and for the fans.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't.
Board.
Team Plett maybe looking for a little hit and roll under.
Yeah, just maybe something to sneak under.
11. Oh,
force Nicky to make a shot.
11. 10-5.
You know, we talk about the great support of Rimbey in the area, and it kind of brings me to bring up some of our platinum sponsors, the Rimbey Lions Club in the town of Rimbey, the Cooperators, Quality Inn and Suites, Rimbey Implements, Ponoka County, and Little Guy Incorporated Oilfield Rentals.
Little Guy is the company that has donated that fishing raffle trip, valued at over $20,000.
Yeah, I guess we haven't talked much about that fishing raffle. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. There's a raffle, and there's 3 great prizes. For one, there's the fishing trip to Una Lodge. It's 4 days all-inclusive with flights included, and for 4 people. So you can bring your buddies and go on this fantastic fishing trip. That's prize number 1. Also part of that raffle for prize number 2 is a barbecue that was donated by GLDC. And third prize are a set of tickets to go see the Lion King in Edmonton, Alberta.
So not only do you get to take in the curling, spend some time at the Ice Lounge, and have a great time with the bands coming in, you also have a chance to win a fishing trip.
Line's good. 5.
That is,
all you. Room.
There's no reason not to show up and watch.
6.
Absolutely.
Line's good.
If you're looking for tickets too, you can get them from the Curling Alberta site.
6, 7.
Whoa.
Line's
7.
good.
50/50 tickets
7.
and
14,
the raffle tickets for the
7,
fishing
8.
trip are available there.
Okay.
Sliding just a little bit deep maybe, but still under cover.
That's okay.
Yeah, a little bit deep, but you know what? Like you said, it's undercover, so it's something Nicky's going to have to worry about.
Can you tap it and roll over? Can you come down quick?
What do you like here, Rhett?
Well, you're tied with Hammer. I don't believe those 2 stones in front of the 12-foot are in, so I don't mind something like a runner appeal. You're, like I said, you're tied with hammer. It's late in the end. You don't want to get too dicey, and a blank would be great for you. But with those two yellows being staggered, it might be hard to go for a blank. You basically want to make sure you're not putting yourself in too much trouble in this end.
Would she ever just ignore that rock in the back four and maybe play around her staggered guards?
Like that 14.
That's a very good option, but the thing is it's very aggressive. As you're with only 3 rocks to come, then you're counting on your team to make a really good shot after that, as I'm sure Plett would just bring another one around the center.
It's good. Back 12. Back line. Yep.
They're looking to make a play on that red in the back four.
Yeah, it looked like they're just going to throw a nice backline weight, just enough to push it out.
Curl. Go, 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 go.
Don't know if they're going to catch enough of this to push it out, but
good.
Just going to sneak it out of the rings.
It shows how lively the rock and the rings are.
Yeah, we've been able to see lots of great shots with amazing surface and the amount of curl we're getting, not to mention these lively stones. It's good watching.
I like that we got it all the way out.
You know, I highly suggest, although we are a little late coming into the live, that they go back and watch the first half of this game, as it was packed full of amazing shots and some intense curling.
Sometimes I feel like the front end doesn't always get enough credit, but there was some fantastic sweeping in that first 5 ends as well.
Yeah, the sweeping on both teams here has made amazing shots for both skips. So I'm sure when they get back after this game to the locker room, they're going to be patting their friend on the back, and maybe for the Kaufman team, owing them a beverage. I'm not sure if the Plett team's quite old.
I was going to say, there might just be a Coke Slurpee for the Plett team.
Whoa! 10-5! Get hard!
Might catch on this back red.
Making good use of that red.
Yeah,
that's good.
A little bit lucky there, and it's one of those things that goes to show that something I tell a lot of juniors I work with is you got to watch the rocks around the rings, because it might not be in the ring, but it could be used as a catcher. It could be used to run something. So any rock in play is something worth taking into account.
Is Team Kaufman maybe now looking potentially blanking?
It looks like they're going to draw around here, so they're going to go hard for that 2, which I really like. You know what? That rock that was just thrown by Team Plett is way back in the 12-foot there, so it's not a big risk. So if Nicky can make a really good draw around the center here and get a deuce and 8, it's going to set him up for a really good last 2 ends. And once again, keeping that hammer into the evens.
Yep. Where are we? 3. 7. Not deep.
Here, that's
not deep.
Running a little quicker than they would have liked. It might peek out the other side.
Hey, sorry, Nicky.
Looking for a little hit and roll under their own guard.
Yeah, you want to make sure you hit this for sure, but a little roll would force Nicky to play a draw to a small scoring area instead of just an easy hit. So
Plett looking to set up the force.
I like this ice.
You know what? To increase where our viewers are from, we have Megan Edwards, a big curling fan that I see on Facebook and on lots of live streams, is here from Ontario. And we just got a comment in that we have a viewer from Japan that is cheering on Team Plett.
Heck! Yep.
Lots of support for these Curling Alberta teams. That is so nice to see. I'm sure part of that comes from them touring around the country like we were talking about earlier. Small tick.
Just going to tick it out, and it's going to leave a draw for 2 for Nicky Kaufman. And yeah, this Plett team has been very...
Rip, that was so close.
Has been very talented, and it's allowed them to go all over the world, and they've had opportunities to go to many places to curl. I believe they went to Prague earlier this year, and
it's okay, that's so close.
As that last comment said, they went to Japan at the WJTC, so it's great. Not only the amount of places they've got to curl, but through the comments, the amount of people they've got to meet.
That's just another feather in the hat for the sport of curling. The opportunity it gives these, I'm going to say kids, because really they are, to be able to travel the world and play a game that they love to play. Meet, like you said, fantastic people is a really neat thing.
Yeah, it's one thing about the curling community that I haven't found in any of the other sports I've played is it's almost like one big family.
We've got a final on sheet D. Team Martins beat Team Booth 10-3.
Well, with the final on sheet 3 and a 2 for Nicky Kaufman here, we're going to be going 7-5 into end number 9. We'll just go away for a few commercials, and we'll be right back.
This is where the focus comes into play. Look at that. Canada, say hello to your new champions.
Proudly pulling for this generation of Canadians and the next for over 40 years at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
So you're a pizza person, but you're married to a wing person, and your kids are salad people? You can't pick your fam, but with over 50 menu items to choose from, you can make them all happy. Order today and enjoy Boston Pizza at home.
Alrighty, curling fans, we're back in some ninth end action here. Last stand, Nicky Kaufman scored 2 to go up 7-5 against Team Myla Plett. Gonna force Myla to put a little bit of pedal to the metal here and try to go for a score.
Team Kaufman has one rock fighting the 12-foot, and Myla's option to ignore that one and draw around the other side and try to take control of that side of the
Line's
rings.
good, hair tight.
Yeah, while the
Hard
commercials were
line.
going on, it looked like
Hard line.
the Team Plett was trying to go for a corner guard and made it
whoa,
come a little
whoa,
deep.
whoa.
Nicky tried for a hit and roll and stuck right there. So
15-1. 15-1. Gotta be here. Right
Team
here.
Plett's just trying to get something undercover here.
Whoa. Good.
Weight looks really nice.
Really good, Ali.
Beautiful draw from Ali Iskew there. I think it's going to show out a little bit on the other side, but something undercover is always great.
Looks like Team Kaufman's looking to draw down to it and maybe give it a little tap.
Yeah, maybe a little tap or even just a straight freeze. Just shorten up that scoring area and make it really hard for Team Plett to put up that crooked number, as we've been saying. Team Plett to score one here is not bad for the Kaufman team, as they'd be going one up and hammer to 10, but the Plett's going to try hard to not let that happen.
Hard. First it goes.
Sweeping hard to get a freeze to it.
Good sweep. 6-1.
Not a bad spot.
Yeah, not quite a freeze, but it does shrink that scoring area just a little bit. And it is yellow onto a red, so there's lots of options for the Kaufman team here. And you know, I don't want to take a moment to bring in our ninth end sponsor here. It is Sentinel Storage. They've had a great history in Alberta from their humble beginnings in 1998. They have grown into the trusted leader in the self-storage industry. As a proudly Canadian company, Sentinel Storage is honored to be a part of this long-standing Alberta event. They are honored to support Curling Alberta and its outstanding athletes and the community around them. Curling Alberta thanks Sentinel Storage for their ongoing partnership of Curling Alberta.
Team Plett with a nose hit on that rock.
10-6.
Maybe looking to roll to the inside and tap that yellow off that center line.
Yeah, not ideal, but it does give something for them to use later on in the end or come around. But it looks like Nicky might want to try that slash double here. It is tricky for her, but she's also got to remember that an open house isn't the worst thing for her, as she's trying to prevent that Plett team from scoring a multiple. Not to mention, they also know that their tolerance here is hitting it a little thick, because even if you miss everything and peel it out, roll your shooter away, it's not the end of the world. Gonna stuff it a little bit, but it does roll to the open, so
That's okay.
leave some options for the Kaufman team.
Better than it was.
Not a bad result at the end of the day. Now Team Kaufman looking to maybe draw another one in undercover.
Yeah.
Yeah, Team Plett here's gonna try and sneak one in here, and you might even see them leave it a little bit open. What that does is it spaces out those red stones, prevents any run doubles, and also if there's a hit back, there's still lots of room to come in there with the draw.
Can't be behind the tee line on this shot though.
4-3. 4.
No, if anything, you want to be above tee and even.
Hard, you gotta be second
A top
shot.
8 stone isn't the end of the world here.
Hard.
It looks like they're gonna get a little stuck here on the speed, and it's coming up just light. A really big scrug from Alyssa Nedowin and Ali Iskew.
Okay.
Not a great result, as it's gonna kind of quarter freeze to the yellow, giving Nicky Kaufman a chance to hit and roll here and put a bunch of pressure onto Team Plett.
Okay.
You know, I've had a chance to play this Kaufman team in a practice game, and one thing I learned from that practice game is don't give them an opportunity, because they like to take them and run. A little bit of the overroll, but it's going to be something that Team Plett's going to have to keep in mind, as we've seen earlier this weekend that those catchers can they can catch up on you.
Line's good.
More
hair
than
tight.
Chloe's.
Hair tight.
4.
Hard line.
5.
Hard line.
Line only.
Hard.
Line only. 5,
Whoa.
6.
Whoa, then. 6. Yep.
6, 7.
Whoa, line only.
Line only. 6, 7. 7. 7, 8.
Whoa. Where? 14-6.
Okay.
You know, one thing I do mention a lot, and it's because I love teaching and working with juniors, is if there's any juniors watching, there's a lot to be learned, or I guess even anyone that's trying to get better at curling, there's lots to be learned by watching these high-level teams. You watched as that rock came down the ice,
quite a bit more
ton
ice,
of communication from Chloe Fediak and Ali Iskew to the skip Myla Plett, and even out of Alyssa's hand, she gave a little bit of information. That constant communication is what kind of makes a difference from these high-level teams to ones you might see at your local club.
I haven't curled like any this game.
You and I were talking at our last broadcast together that the importance, even at the junior level, to keep communicating.
15-6.
And even if you're not so sure, keep communicating. And the only way to get better at it is to be wrong for a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing, is a lot of juniors come to me and ask, how do you get better at judging a stone? And the simple answer is you just got to do it. You got to do it a lot, and you can't be afraid to be wrong. I had mentioned that I'd heard on the Kevin Martin curling podcast that Brett Gallant said when he started, he's one of the best judges in our game, and when he started, he was wrong a lot. But the more and more you do it, the better you get, and the more confident you get in it.
Whoa! Clean, clean, clean.
No lack of gusto from Melissa Netowin. Going to clear up the center.
It does expose now that yellow rock just biting the button.
That's good.
If you're Team Kaufman now, do you try to guard it or
tight.
Or maybe come down right to it?
Yeah, I like the guard because it's gonna force Myla Plett to make a move eventually. You keep guarding it, eventually gonna have to make a move. Because that Yellowstone, although behind the tee line, is in a really good position to force Plett to wander, even to get a steal on a miss.
They mentioned 16.5 for a time, so would that take them to maybe a tight guard or halfway?
Yeah, that should be about a tight guard. A good rule of thumb that we've found as curlers is every half second tends to be around 6 feet, or I can't remember if it's 3 feet or 6 feet.
Okay, good throw.
Really nice throw there. It's a little higher than Nicky would have liked it, but it is still in the way for Team Plett. The high guard does allow Myla to play a soft weight to get to that yellow.
Almost could have been in.
Pardon?
Can they ever get down to the inside of that with maybe light hack weight for a tap back?
You know, I think there's a really good chance for them to get to the inside.
Freeze, they're gonna freeze on top.
I know, and then we have.
They can miss the back red, that'd be great. I think if you get enough inside to miss the back red, you might roll open. So you might see them just play a simple freeze.
The guard's so high you could get it either way.
So are we going for bumping it back to be second shot, or are we going for just bumping it back to like here?
I think if we bump it back a little, we need to play the out.
See what happens.
Yeah, like we talked about earlier, in the game. They only get one timeout this year, so although they
Yeah.
have a lot of time banked,
The angle's better than
you
that. It
might
wouldn't
see the
back to
timeout
red.
call, so they can take some time to talk about
I'm
this.
gonna throw the intern.
Okay, yeah, I like
back
that.
about a foot. I'll move it a foot. Yep. I'll
Oh,
throw back
timeout,
forward.
timeout.
Coach Nadewin was giving them the signal for a timeout, maybe not necessarily liking what they were deciding.
Back four. Back four.
Yeah, it's a difficult decision here because you're in kind of a tricky situation. You're in the ninth end and you're 2 down. You want to make sure you score here because it's, and if you are going to score, you want to score 2. You don't want to give Nicky Kaufman a chance to be 1-up with hammer and 10. So at this point, there's not really a blanket play. So they're gonna have to go hard for this too.
Like heavy draw.
So in order to give ice. I know that. But it's just run super straight.
So they've moved to the other side of the ice here, and maybe in looking for a little bit of a heavy draw.
They were like, no.
Yeah, the nice thing about that weight is it gives a lot of opportunity to your sweepers to manage it down the ice. And they're gonna get good movement.
Yeah.
They are gonna have to watch on this side though, because we've seen teams, both teams here, get a little caught on this side of the sheet.
There is a blank sheet beside them, so that definitely would come into play.
Yeah, that's this side of the sheet too, I believe. So it's gonna make it so that this side might be a little slower and a little straighter. So these teams have been probably communicating it all game, but it's something they're gonna have to take into account for this draw.
One more thing too is the ice could be changing just a smidgen more, as both sheets on this side of the ice are empty now.
Yeah, that's one of the things is you can be one of the best curlers and have the best technical aspects ever, but not only is the shots always changing, but the ice is changing too. Really hard scrub.
Going hard for line. Great sweep by the front end.
Good.
Really nice sweep.
That's good, Myla.
Good sweep.
Great communication from Chloe and Allie as well, letting Alyssa know exactly where that rock was weight-wise.
No. Like Alyssa called us off.
You know what, as Nicky slides down the ice, I want to take a final opportunity here to thank our diamond sponsors here at the women's provincials. Hermaline Tech, Reynaldi and Sons Contracting Ltd. They have been big helps here in making this event run smoothly.
Six. Well, if you can. Okay, line 6. Coming down. 5. Still room.
Looking to sit right on top of that red.
For weight. Line's grip.
Yeah, sit right on top of the red and really shrink that scoring area for the Plett team. We heard a 5 there, so it's going to take a big scrub.
It's going to be top 12.
Might have got caught a little bit in that slide path, as we've talked about in past broadcasts, where as the game goes on and people are sliding over kind of between that 4 foot, it tends to wear down that pebble. And you tend to see that those areas kind of stick up a little bit and don't run as clean as you might expect them to. And depending on your rocks, different ice surfaces, they might grab and curl more, or they might run a little straighter because there's not as much.
No, you would have been back button, or back 4.
Okay, you have to be 2.
Allie's throwing a similar path here than what she just threw. She's coming a little wider, which means it might be a little heavier just on this path. Communication will be huge on the shot.
Yeah, taking a hair more ice, but should have a good feel as her last
Quite a bit
draw
more.
was similar to this. You hear
Quite a bit
Lougheed Chloe
more.
Fediak say that it's quite a
Team.
bit more, so
Just
gonna
team.
have to keep an eye on it.
All you. Back 4, back 8. Whoa!
Coming down.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay.
You
could
heard
hear
them
them.
say,
Yeah, Plan B was trying to play the tick.
I heard back 8, so Plan B was a tick, but you know what? It's a draw for 1, and we're gonna go 6-5, leaving Nicky Kaufman 1 up with hammer into our 10th end.
Yeah.
Hello, curling fans, and welcome back. We are in some 10th end action with Nicky Kaufman versus Myla Plett. Nicky has a big advantage here, being 1 up with hammer, so lots of rocks are going to be in play, and it's going to be an interesting end.
Team Plett came in with their first rock and put up a nice center line guard. And Nicky immediately decided to come around with a nice rock right on the 4-foot, right behind cover.
Yeah, to ensure a steal, we're going to see Team Plett here try to put up those double centers, a nice low and a nice high one. And Nicky's going to come around and try to take away that scoring area to prevent that steal. This rock's running a little deeper than they would have liked it. And a little too close than Team Plett would have preferred, but 2 centers nonetheless. We see about 6 minutes on the clock for both teams, so lots of time here for this 10th end. I believe the Kaufman team still has their timeout, so
that's right.
There'll be lots of discussion here in this end.
They will. 6, right to it. Hard curl, hard curl. Hard, hard.
Really good scrub to put the rocks right in behind those center line guards.
Great scrub in an amazing position there, making it really hard for the Plett team to score here.
If you're Myla now, do you try to maybe tap that rock off the center line, or are you trying to maybe come down to it?
You know what? I think you're going to come down to it. If you see a tap, you're going to see Nicky Kaufman rather blast your red out of there or try and make a move. So you're going to see them just try to come to it as they know that Nicky's probably going to be throwing a peel on our next one. So that you're basically trying to set up for your last shots in the end.
Just a 5. That's a 7. Yep.
Rock's got a curl.
Hard.
Yeah, got a curl.
Okay.
And just a little bit of a misjudge there. You see them just a 5, but it's the last minute they thought it was a 7. So would have liked to freeze that really nice on there, but
Nicky will look to double peel these rocks now.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing there is Ali's attempt on the double centers came a little close together, so it's going to make this double peel really not easy, but it's going to be easier than it would be if they were more spread apart.
Curl her hair.
Just missed the double peel, but still able to get the top one out of play. It's incredible to me how these petite girls can generate so much speed and momentum on that rock.
Yeah, we've seen, especially from this
you're
Plett team and Alyssa and Edwin, is a lot of these ladies out here aren't afraid to throw the high, hard ones. Even Chloe here, I've seen back home in Sherwood Park throw some big weights, so it's a little scary if you're playing against them.
Just a 1.
2. 1.
Just a 1.
The 1 being just over the hog line and off?
Yeah. Should be just over. Going to try and keep as much separation of those 2 guards as they can to prevent Nicky from having another chance at the double peel.
That's good. Good, Chloe.
Little higher guard than the first one, so it's in a little better spot.
Yeah, really nice second center there for Chloe. That's kind of what they were wanting on Alyssa's first 2 stones.
You want 9 or peel? Same way.
It's gonna force Nicky's team here. They're only gonna be able to get 1 here instead of getting both. Because by trying to get both, you would more than likely leave your shooter.
Clean. Yep. Clean.
Nice job, and I'd imagine that Myla will just go to replace that guard again, or does she look to maybe come in now?
Yeah, she's probably going to think about it, but
T-line
I think they're going
to
put... I would probably put 1 more guard up, but we see Myla electing to play like a back 4, T-line back 4 weight here to try and bump that red back.
Line's good.
7.
6.
Close.
You know, if it was a tied game, you might see Myla wait a little longer before they can play on the red, but these high-level teams know the statistics and know they're going to need to steal multiple here, because going into an extra without hammer.
Just got a tick there. The front end doing everything they could to keep that rock straight.
Yeah, big scrub there, but just caught a little bit. Going to make it really tricky for this Plett team to get their score this end.
It's in a usable spot, but I'd imagine Nicky's just going to make that rock go away.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be surprised to see Nicky try and rip that peel and maybe catch a piece of it, but
Nose is great.
they are sitting in such good position. You might just see Nicky hit that top 4 stone or even the one that you were talking about.
Grind like you can.
So we see Nicky going for this one in top 4, and I really like it because that's... If you can sit on the nose here, it's making it really hard for the Plett team to get in there to score, and it's kind of your danger rock in this situation. The other thing is if they're holding out a little wide, like it looks like this one is, they're gonna catch the top one.
Yeah.
Would have liked to miss their own yellow as it kind of opens up that area for Plett, but
a little bit of a break for Team Plett.
Yeah, big break here for Team Pletts with a Team Kaufman that has played super well these last few ends.
Covering the red. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, 15.
Do you like coming around this side, Red, or would you ever look at coming around the intern side?
You could look at coming around this way, but I think, or the intern side, but I think this is a nice way to come around because you, with that nice draw weight, you might even be able to get to the inside of the red and flop it in.
Just over.
There's not a lot of angle.
Looks like she's throwing another guard up.
Hard. Hard, Allie. Over and off. Over and off. Okay. Okay, good.
Really good shot to
be
cover
way
up the red
closer.
shot rock in the top four.
Nicky opting to peel that guard out.
That's good.
We've got a final on sheet A. Team Shannon beating Team Phillips. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not a final. They're in a timeout.
Shooter Kim.
Oh.
Still in the 10th end. I'm getting ahead of the game here a little bit.
You know, I got to shout out that Shannon team. They've had an amazing week so far, and I believe their first game out, they won against this Plett team, if I'm
They
not
beat
mistaken.
Team Plett, and I was telling you earlier, they've played 5 of the 6 draws already so far.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be exhausting, but they're coming out strong and they're playing super well.
I don't know if we'd ever want to.
Are they one of the junior teams you were talking about, Rhett?
Yes, I believe they play on the U20 tour, and we've seen them around a couple events. And I always joke that I'm happy to see them on the women's side because they look like a tough team to beat.
Myla looking to draw around the outside,
2.
maybe fight the T line.
2.
Or no,
Tight
putting up another
2.
guard.
Tight.
2. Just a 2.
Over and off.
Yeah, just another guard. They're gonna.
Off.
They know that they gotta make sure they at
Tight
least
2.
steal one, so they're gonna probably guard for their lives here until the very last. This one's gonna move a little bit more than they would have liked, leaving that redstone accessible.
10.
Does that red rock ever jam on that yellow one in the back 8?
I think if you play a softer weight and try to get, they're looking at it right now, but if you play a softer weight and try to get as much of the stone as you can, you should miss it. But I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to put a commentator's curse on.
You gotta try to stay kind of there.
We should be able to hold it here.
Oh, how are we gonna roll under?
We had talked before the broadcast about a game I did at the U18 provincials with one of my friends playing, and I'd mentioned how he got one on me, but I put a commentator's curse on him, so I'm not doing that again.
Yeah. Close to nose as we can.
Yeah. Once you're by the guard, you can sweep for curl.
Okay.
For those wondering, commentator curses are real.
I really like what Nicky said there. She said once you're by the guard, go hard for curl. That ensures you're gonna get as much of that stone
It's good. Hot.
as you can, and you might even get a little bit of a flop in.
Having that communication early allows the sweepers to be ready to go as soon as it's live.
Down out of the hound, and so it looks like we're just gonna bump off the guard.
That's okay. Okay, that's all right.
Myla gonna guard again here, Rhett?
Yeah, that's a
Yeah, I
tough
heard
draw.
them talking about how that draw is a really tough draw, especially because there hasn't been much play to that side of the sheet. So I think they're going to guard this one and ensure they're one and hope to go to an extra.
On that draw as well, there's a high yellow guard
weight.
right above that Cooperators logo that comes into play if you're trying to play that intern draw.
And the other nice thing for Team Plett here is they've just seen this line and they know the speed, so they're going to be really confident in placing this guard.
Weight's good. 2. Weight's good. Room.
2.
So you hear
Sounds like
two
the weight's good.
Yeah, halfway guard.
2. Hard, Chloe.
Lots.
Hard, Chloe.
Sweeping for line.
Oh.
Really nicely placed guard.
Really well managed down the sheet. You heard great communication on the weight, and then Alyssa calling room, which means they were a little wide and had to curl. So amazing management on the sweepers on weight, and a great carve to get it back over by Chloe Fediak there. But it looks like we're going to have a timeout for Kaufman here.
Probably not a bad use of it. Look at their options and see what they can do to try to either get rid of that red and score their one for the win, or I guess they're going extras.
That draw's tight for line.
Yeah, the nice thing is they've banked a lot of time too as well, I believe. So they should have a lot of cushion to talk about this shot. If you're watching at home, you might kind of think that, oh, it's just a easy draw for the one, or just a soft weight onto the red. But these teams are going to talk about different lines and paths and different speeds of these paths, especially because they haven't played the one side of the sheet as much.
We were talking about how much these rocks are curling, so you can see that high yellow guard that would maybe come into play, or they would have to very much so flirt with that guard to draw in on that intern side.
Yeah, the tendency you find here on arena surfaces is that curl. There's a lot of curl, but that curl is late, so it's gonna hang out far. And like you said, that top yellow guard is really in the way.
There's no hit and roll up this. You can't see it.
Which is why you would have seen Team Kaufman, when they made that peel earlier, try as hard as they can to roll it as far as they can.
That's easier. I'm worried about
That last guard that Myla put up was just placed perfectly.
If we go an extra, we go an extra. Yeah, you don't have to stick.
They're looking at the in off, maybe off their own yellow.
It's there for sure.
This reminds me of a Rachel Holman kind of shot.
Yeah, you know what? Rachel's probably one of the best of those big high weight shots, and she makes a lot of them. Even on the men's side, you see Kevin Cooey. A lot of teams are scared to leave guards out here like this because he makes these shots a lot. And like I said earlier, I've played Nicky in a practice game, and she is a team that you don't want to give an opportunity to.
So she's looking to angle raise this rock onto Team Plett's red, fighting the 4-foot.
Yeah. And with the other stones, her other yellow stones being in the house, she just has to make contact on it early in her hands.
Go, go, go. Yeah, I got it hard. Go, go, go.
Keeping hard for line.
Just gonna miss it, and it looks like we're gonna be going into an extra. A super exciting game so far for this Kaufman Plett matchup.
Okay. That's right. Close. Yeah.
We will go to a short break and be back for the extra end.
Hey, we're here. Let's play more. We love curling. Okay.
Crafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
Play Curling Alberta's 50-50. Support grassroots curling and win big with daily draws and the Brier Final Mega Jackpot, now over $100,000 and growing. Please play responsibly.
So you're a pizza person, but you're married to a wing person, and your kids are salad people? You can't pick your fam, but with over 50 menu items to choose from, you can make them all happy. Order today and enjoy Boston Pizza at home.
Hello, curling fans, and welcome back to some extra end action here at our Kaufman versus Plett game. It's been an exciting game so far, and a lot on the line. As we talked about earlier, the loser of this game is going home, and that's the end of their provincial week.
Team Plett put up two really nice center line guards on Team Kaufman's first rock. He ticked the center line guard, meaning that rock had to go back into play, and her rock was moved to the back.
Stay close, though.
Yeah, and that's a massive bonus for Team Plett there, as it's one less Kaufman stone that they're going to have to worry about.
Sit, baby. Sit.
This one's going to go a little deep, maybe, and out the other side. So if you're Team Plett here, are you making a play on that? Are you maybe trying to hit and roll underneath, much like what she did her last end, or what are her other ideas of maybe what she could do for a shot?
You know what? You still have two very nice guards, so you're going to want to come in here. They're rather going to come to it, and a little bump is okay, but they want to make sure that they're not leaving their rock open. So they're going to play a nice draw weight and try to get under.
6. All you.
7.
Good.
6.
Room.
Weight coming close.
Yeah.
6.
You hear that? You hear that 7, so that's a really good sign to hear.
Hard.
Coming down a little bit.
Hard to it.
As it grabs that slide path, it's going to grab a little more and lose a little bit of weight.
Right to it.
But Alyssa and Ali are sweeping hard to get it.
Okay, good.
We talked earlier that now all the sheets are empty, so I'm sure the ice surface might be getting a little heavy and a little straighter, Rhett.
Yeah, without all the other action on the other sheets, you're going to start seeing the temperature kind of come down, and it's going to affect the ice. It's going to make it that little bit slower and that little bit straighter. So teams are going to have to be on that.
Good throw.
Nicky looking to peel the top guard.
Yep, she's just trying to keep everything as clean as she can and keep it always make sure she has a way to the forefoot. It's the extra end, so she doesn't have to try to score 2 with her hammer. She just needs the 1.
If you're Myla now, are you maybe looking at replacing the guard, or are you looking to come in and make a play on that rock on the button at 6 points? That's just maybe a little too early.
I think you're gonna want to replace the guard because they're kind of your lifeline
2,
here.
3.
They're kind of your lifelines here, and without the guards,
All you.
without the guards, you're never gonna take or bring that
It's a
steal.
2.
So they're gonna try and guard as long as they can until they're forced to make a move onto their redstone.
Really nicely placed guard once again. Maybe a little over curl, but
Chloe,
still
white.
forcing Nicky to make a play on it.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised to see Nicky peeling it off this way. I thought she might go the other way and try to get both going, but still a good call. Peel the top one.
I thought it was maybe a 3. It died a lot.
Bit of a break there for Team Plett.
Yeah, a little bit of a break. You can see all the passion coming out in this Kaufman team. These girls know what's on the line, and you know what? It's the difference of your dream of playing in the Scotties for Alberta and going home. So it's a massive game here.
15-5.
Do you like the staggered guard here maybe a little bit?
Yeah, I like any guard here because you want to stagger them a little bit so there's not a double peel or anything, and so you're making
2.
the Kaufman team come with a lighter weight.
2.
Yeah, weight's really good.
Tight 2. 3.
Just a 1, 2.
2, 3.
Over and off.
2.
Here are 2 threes.
2.
So it might be a little deeper than they wanted. Now they're saying a 2, so a really good guard.
That's good.
It should finish up here right at the end.
Good.
You mentioned that very late curl on this arena ice.
Looks like Nicky's going to have to do a little bit of housekeeping, as I call it, because there's a lot of red here and not a lot of yellow. And like I said, she's got to keep those paths to the 4-foot open. You're playing in a high-pressure game, and you don't want to give yourself too difficult of a shot at the end.
She's really doing everything she can just to set up her last shot.
Gonna just get the 1, but that's still good. Any less guards in this situation are good.
Myla looking to replace that guard, maybe get it a little tighter to that center line.
Face back into this, and then we lose everything, right?
Okay, same weight.
It's a hair less.
Would you like it up closer to that yellow guard, Rhett, or does she want to be behind that?
You know what? You want a higher guard here because anything close allows for Team Kaufman to maybe get multiple guards out of one peel. So
2.
you want to make sure it's a higher guard, but you also
just a 2.
You also want to stay a little bit away from that yellow to prevent a double on there because Nicky getting rid of her own yellow even helps her in this situation.
Little deeper maybe than she wanted, but the line is a little nicer as well.
Yeah, a little deeper allows for a double peel, but you know what? It's staggered and it's close enough that it's still doing its job. It still forces this Kaufman team to clean up a little bit.
Same way.
Peel. Close. Curl. Okay. Man.
Still just that top guard being taken out.
You kind of see a couple there. They're getting caught on running a little straighter than they would have liked. We talked about it without these games on the other sheets. A little slower, a little straighter. So I think he's going to have to take that into account for her final stones.
So you see Myla thinking here.
Yeah.
You wouldn't just put the guard back up? You're looking at maybe coming back to the T line?
Well, the nice thing about drawing in here is it puts a lot of pressure onto the Kaufman team, and if you place that guard, you're gonna give Nicky a free draw into that 4-foot, which is most likely what she's gonna have to play on her second shot. So you almost give her a practice shot. Not to mention if she makes it good, then it's not great for Team Plett. So you're gonna see her kind of draw in now, and put a ton of pressure on the Kaufman team to make something really good.
Even though one of the guards is yellow, there's still two nice center line guards for Team Plett to work with.
Yeah, it goes back to what I've talked about a lot, that just because the rock's your color doesn't always mean it's your friend. That yellow is kind of in the way for Nicky there, so it's kind of helping the Plett team more than the Kaufman team.
Looks close.
So close.
All you.
Top 5, maybe.
5, 4.
Look at the stands. It looks like lots of people got their blankets on now. With only one game on the ice, it looks to get a little more chilly.
It is a little cooler, but it's great to see so many fans still sticking around.
4.
Oftentimes you see as cheats finish up, a lot of the fans tend to go with them. But it's good to see so many still here.
It's okay.
So you see Myla's draw come up a little bit light there. Not a bad thing, because it still staggers those guards, but it is going to give Nicky this free practice draw. And if it, like I said, if it's made really good, it's
What do you like for speed?
it's going to be tricky for the team Plett to deal with, sit for their one.
Make it good. Yeah, top button.
Myla, would maybe like that rock to be a little further to the wing to block that draw path a little bit?
Yeah, if she would have, in a perfect world, if she was coming up light, she would have been, like you said, a little closer to the wing. Not only to block the draw path, but to also leave it usable for her next stone. With those stones being staggered now, if Nicky makes this draw really good, it's going to be hard for Myla to use her own stones or even to get in there to beat her.
The girls are really sweeping this rock.
Really big scrub. A little bit of a bounce off, but you're going to see it's going to push that redstone almost guarding the other half of their redstone top 4.
So that rock not ending up in a great spot for Nicky. It's taken that slide path away a little bit. So now if you're Myla, are you maybe looking to guard the other side? Or are you maybe to look to beat her into the 4-foot?
You know what? I really like what Alyssa just said, or tapped there, was that right up their top 12 to take away that draw path.
I definitely like guarding this rock, I think.
A guard doesn't do you a lot of good if there's still a draw path. We're seeing Team Plett take their time out here. They're really going to talk about this one.
She just missed it.
It looks like you could probably even have that rock anywhere as a guard, 12-foot, 8-foot.
The thing with this is that if
line being the key.
Light, you can guard that.
Yeah, I'm going to try and stay quiet here so we can listen in to David and the team. Might be able to get some insight.
On the out turn?
If you don't feel comfortable, let's just play the other return. It is fun.
I like it. I just threw it.
Alrighty, it looks like Myla's going to play the draw, go wide draw to that 4-foot, which I really like because it's going to force Nicky, as you see, she came light on her second one. It's going to force her to come draw the other way, which they haven't played a ton of on that. They haven't played a ton on that side during this end. And it's going to be a guessing game out there.
Yeah, we got a 15-6.
That makes that practice draw that she just had
Yep, I like 15.
really not as useful for her next shot.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah, not saying it's not going to be useful, but it's like you said, it's not as useful. It's a different path, different lines, so it's going to run a little different.
At this level, Red, is there a preference between in-turn, out-turn, or are they just really good at both?
You know what? Honestly, everybody has their preference, but they're so good at this level that I'm not giving any team any shot, even if it is their so-called less preferred turn.
Going a little deeper maybe than they wanted, but they had to go for line.
Yeah, a little deeper. So you see, Nicky, she's got She's got a little bit of a hit and roll, so it kind of takes away the guessing game of the draw. Myla would have liked to have that top four to take away this hit and roll, because if she has a top four there, this hit and roll, you would have rolled too deep to be shot stone, but with it coming to the back of the four there, it's going to give Nicky a nice chance at this roll.
Little bit of backing on for her stone off coming off the other red there for her hit.
Yeah, she's got a little bit of a safety net.
Somebody be ready to roll it in.
Yeah, we'll be
It's still a little bit of a guess on the line here. Like I said, they haven't played a lot down this side, so it's going to be a little slower and maybe curl a little earlier, but you kind of, by throwing a little more weight, you kind of take that out of the situation.
9-5.
Weight's good.
Whoa. Close. Whoa. Whoa. Yes! Yes! Yes!
I'm going to jump on her a little bit. Catch the back
Makes
for
the
shot. What a shot for the final stone here in the 11th end. Nicky Kaufman going to hit and roll to take her one and to move on in the provincial championships here.
Oh, I just shook your hand.
Unfortunately, that means that Team Plett is going to be going home, but they have had such a week here in Rimbey and have had such a season. So,
Thanks for the fun today, Rhett. Always a pleasure.
yes, and you know what? We have the opportunity to pick our moment of the game presented by Sentinel Storage, and I think we'd be totally wrong not to pick that last shot there. A high pressure shot to take away the game and to
Look at the elbows.
keep alive throughout the provincial championship.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, Claire looks
I couldn't
warm.
agree more. Very well earned win by Team Kaufman.
Yeah, and it's been such a pleasure commentating with you and watching this great game. And for anyone listening or watching at home, all the games will be streamed here to Curling Zone or to the Curling Alberta YouTube channel via Curling Stadium. So thank you to all those guys. And yeah, thank you for sitting and talking with me throughout this great game.
Thanks, Rhett. Have a good one.
You as well.
Round them up, move them in. No place for your saddle and cowboy boots after the Calgary Stampede? At Sentinel Storage, we are proud to provide you with storage solutions that safeguard your valuables. Whether you're moving, renovating, or simply require extra space, we offer convenient and secure storage that caters to all needs. Find the Sentinel storage you need close to home. For a free estimate, visit sentinel.ca.
Play Curling Alberta's 50-50. Support grassroots curling and win big with daily draws and the Briar Final Mega Jackpot, now over $100,000 and growing. Please play responsibly.